Welcome to Moments in History channel. Today, we're journeying down the majestic Nile River to uncover the story of one of the greatest civilizations ever known, ancient Egypt. For nearly 3,000 years, this empire wasn't just surviving, it was thriving, innovating, and building a legacy that still leaves us speechless. We'll explore the three major periods that defined its incredible journey: the Old, Middle, and New Kingdoms. So grab your gear, we're about to step back in time. Our story begins around 2686 BCE with the Old Kingdom, an era so defined by its colossal constructions that it's often called the Age of the Pyramids. This was a time of immense power, stability, and divine rule. The pharaoh wasn't just a king, he was seen as a living god, a bridge between the heavens and the earth. His authority was absolute, and his legacy was meant to be eternal. To ensure this eternity, the Egyptians embarked on some of the most ambitious building projects in human history. Imagine standing at the base of the Great Pyramid of Giza. It's made of over 2 million stone blocks, some weighing as much as an elephant. And it was all built without modern machinery. This wasn't just a tomb, it was a resurrection machine, a gateway to the afterlife for the pharaoh Khufu. The pyramids at Giza, built for Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaure, were monumental testaments to the pharaoh's power and the incredible organization of the Egyptian state. How did they pull this off? A highly efficient, centralized government was the key. A sophisticated bureaucracy, led by a vizier, managed everything. They collected taxes, not in money, but in grain and goods. They organized massive labor forces, not of slaves as popular culture often suggests, but of skilled craftsmen and farmers who worked on these projects during the Nile's annual flood, when farming was impossible. This system ensured that the state had the resources and the manpower to build for the gods and for eternity. The Old Kingdom truly laid the foundation for everything that followed, creating a cultural and political blueprint that would endure for millennia. But no empire lasts forever without facing challenges. After centuries of stability, the Old Kingdom's central power began to crumble. A combination of environmental issues, including severe droughts, and the rising power of regional governors, led to a period of disunity and chaos known as the First Intermediate Period. For over a century, Egypt was fragmented, but Egypt's story is one of resilience. Around 2055 BCE, a powerful ruler from Thebes named Mentuhotep II reunified the country, ushering in the Middle Kingdom. If the Old Kingdom was about building for the gods, the Middle Kingdom was about rebuilding for the people. This era is often called the classical age of Egyptian art and literature. The pharaohs of this period were seen less as distant gods and more as wise shepherds of their people. They focused on practical projects that would benefit everyone. They fortified the borders to protect against foreign invaders. They launched ambitious irrigation projects, digging canals and creating a massive reservoir in the Fayum oasis. This boosted agricultural production, ensuring the land of the Nile remained a land of plenty. Trade also flourished, with expeditions sent south to Nubia for gold and east to the Levant for wood and other valuable goods. Culturally, the Middle Kingdom was a golden age. The art became more realistic, showing pharaohs with more human and sometimes even weary expressions. Literature thrived, with stories and wisdom texts that explored themes of justice, morality, and the human condition. The concept of the afterlife also became more democratic. While pyramids were still built, they were smaller. More importantly, the afterlife was no longer seen as the exclusive domain of the pharaoh. Ordinary people could now hope to achieve immortality through proper rituals and leading a righteous life, a belief captured in the famous coffin texts. However, stability once again gave way to turmoil. A group from Western Asia, known as the Hyksos, infiltrated the Nile Delta. They brought with them advanced military technology, like the horse-drawn chariot and the composite bow. Unable to repel them, the Egyptian state fractured again, marking the beginning of the Second Intermediate Period. The Hyksos ruled the north, while Egyptian pharaohs held on to the south in Thebes. This period of foreign rule was a deep humiliation for the Egyptians, but it also forced them to adapt and learn from their conquerors. That brings us to the New Kingdom, which began around 1550 BCE after the Theban rulers successfully drove out the Hyksos. This wasn't just a restoration, it was a revolution. Fueled by a new militaristic spirit, the New Kingdom was the age of empire. Egypt wasn't content with just defending its borders anymore, it was going on the offensive. This was Egypt at its wealthiest, most powerful, and most magnificent. The pharaohs of this era are some of the most famous names in all of history. There was Hatshepsut, a remarkable woman who ruled as a full pharaoh, often depicted with a male body and a false beard to fit tradition. Her reign was one of peace and prosperity, marked by a famous trading expedition to the land of Punt. Then came the warrior pharaohs like Thutmose III, who led numerous military campaigns into the Near East, expanding Egypt's influence all the way to the Euphrates River. This wasn't just conquest, it was about creating a buffer zone and controlling lucrative trade routes. The wealth that poured into Egypt from its empire was staggering. Gold from Nubia, tribute from vassal states, and exotic goods from across the known world funded an unprecedented building boom. This is the era that gave us the grand temples of Karnak and Luxor, vast complexes of pylons, halls, and sanctuaries dedicated to the gods. Especially Amun-Ra, the king of the gods. Each pharaoh added their own mark, trying to outdo their predecessors. In the south, Ramesses II, also known as Ramesses the Great, carved the incredible temples of Abu Simbel directly into a mountainside, with 4 colossal statues of himself guarding the entrance, a timeless display of power. The New Kingdom also saw one of history's most fascinating religious upheavals. The pharaoh Akhenaten rejected the entire pantheon of Egyptian gods to worship a single deity, the Aten, or the sun disk. He moved the capital to a new city, Amarna, and revolutionized Egyptian art, introducing a more naturalistic, almost surreal style. However, this revolution didn't last. After his death, his son, the boy king Tutankhamun, restored the old gods. While Tutankhamun's reign was short, his legacy is immense, thanks to the discovery of his nearly intact tomb in 1922, which gave us an unparalleled glimpse into the splendor of a New Kingdom pharaoh. For over 500 years, the New Kingdom projected Egyptian power across the ancient world. Pharaohs like Ramesses II fought epic battles, like the Battle of Kadesh against the Hittites, and established a vast network of diplomacy and trade. But by the 11th century BCE, a combination of internal struggles, economic problems, and invasions by new groups like the Sea Peoples weakened the empire. Egypt's grip on its foreign territories slipped, and the central government once again began to lose control. The Old, Middle, and New Kingdoms represent the peaks of a civilization that lasted for 3 millennia. From the divine kingship and pyramid building of the Old Kingdom, to the cultural refinement and public works of the Middle Kingdom, and finally, the imperial might and monumental temples of the New Kingdom. Each era built upon the last. Together, they forged a legacy of art, architecture, religion, and governance that has captivated the world for thousands of years. The story of ancient Egypt is a powerful reminder of human ingenuity, resilience, and our timeless quest for eternity. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey through time. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, subscribe to Moments in History channel for more adventures into the past, and let me know in the comments which ancient civilization you'd like to explore next. Until then, stay curious,